Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Start off with Curtis, Jordan, and Stella. Now, in the beginning, I didn't understand why Jordan covered for Stella. Because in the beginning, it seemed like when Curtis walked in and Curtis was like, why was these papers not signed? Stella was just like, well, sometimes things just happen and no one's perfect and this, that, and third. And I'm just like, so Stella, you gonna tell him the truth? You gonna do that? You're just gonna own up to it, and whatever happens, happens. No, you're gonna sit there and keep beating around the bush. And then Jordan stepped in, and Jordan was like, "Well, I just kind of lost it. I lost track of it. I had a lot of work to do, and then I had to go to the clinic, and just things just kind of happened." I'm like, in the beginning, I was like, "Why are you covering for her instead of letting her take responsibility for her actions?" But then when Curtis left, Jordan explained why. And although I wasn't really happy with it, I understood. Because with Jordan, it just could have been a simple slip up and, she would have refiled the papers and that would have been that. But if Curtis would have found out what Stella did, they would have had another strained relationship. Who knows when I would have got helped up. So, she felt like she was the lesser of the two evils. So again, I understood it, but I still was just like, she needs to take responsibility for that. Instead of having Curtis come at her sideways. Now, when the truth comes out, he's going to feel like an idiot for a couple of different reasons. Um, and he's also going to feel, well, yeah, that's what I said for a couple of reasons, but also Portia. So, Jordan, Portia, and then the fact that, at some point he'll come to realize that he doesn't really own that club anymore. Okay? He just doesn't. The minute that he decided to do business with Miss Wu about getting those police records to find out that he went to jail for a protest and that was his big secret, and now you owed her a favor, and then you owed her another favor. I mean, and then she did another favor for you. But Curtis is a mess. Let's just put it that way. Felt like I waited 17 damn years for Sasha to sit there and sign those papers. And Brandon was like, listen, you don't have to do this. Okay? You sit there and fight the charges and, I'll stand by you 100% and just kind of reassuring her that this isn't permanent. Meanwhile, I'm just like, sign goddamn papers already. Sign the papers. I'm literally sitting there looking at my phone and I'm just like, time's a wasting. But she finally signs them. She's not happy about it, obviously, but it beats jail. Okay? It beats jail because let's just be very, 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 very clear. Sasha would not do good in jail. Okay? I don't even think at this point I have to explain why. Um, but yeah, she just wouldn't. So she's there. Fences are finally, well, I don't want to sit there and say fences are mended, but Brando and Stella, Brando and Gladys had a good conversation. And the thing that was interesting about that whole convo is just how far Gladys came as a character. Okay? It wasn't that long ago that she threw Dev under the bus for his visa status. Okay? Sold out her own son because she wants to then live the high and rich life dealing with Cyrus Renault. And even after that, she still was acting like a POS. But she's come full circle. Okay? Out of all the characters on this show, she is one of the very few characters that I started off and I couldn't stand. And now I love seeing her on screen. I love seeing her on screen. So it was nice seeing that scene because she's come so far. I don't know why Joss wants to keep the whole dumpster diving adventure with Dex. I really don't understand that. Yeah, she apologized for judging him too harshly and thanking him for everything he's done so far. But she was like, well, I didn't tell my boyfriend about our little adventure, and I kind of like to keep that between us. And I'm like, why? Why? Why would you like to? If somebody has a theory about why she wants to keep her little adventure a secret from Cam, please tell me, because we all know the situation was reversed, and he didn't tell her about the same thing. She would have been livid. Okay, she was already livid when she didn't find out about Spencer's plan that Spencer told Cam, and even after Joss knew and understood why and said she would have done the same thing, she was still mad at him for a little bit. So I don't get it. And it's funny because she was like, I don't usually sit there and judge people without fully getting to know them. That makes me a hypocrite. Okay, that's good. You're owning up to it. But now you're Smith keeping this a secret after you just told Cam no more lies. It's like watching somebody play Uno and just hit the reverse, and then just hitting the reverse again. That's literally, well, maybe that's not a good analogy, but it's like you came out and owned up to being a hypocrite, and then within the same scene, you wind up becoming a hypocrite. It's wow. Um, Now I don't know what's going on with this whole ancestry story. Um, Joan was on the phone with someone, and they said it was a match for Stella and poor Charles. But then out of nowhere, there was like, no, there's no match. And the person that she was talking to on the phone said if they withdrew their sample, then it's not going, that's the only way that um, a mistake or an error like that would happen, saying it was somebody in Port Charles. Now, of course, the rumor is, what is her name again? Because we haven't seen her in a while. Phyllis. Phyllis. I really think about that because sometimes when I actually have time, I like to sit down and watch Y&R and see what they're up to. But yeah, we haven't seen Phyllis in a hot minute. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if they're going to sit there and replace her, recast her. I have no idea what's going on. Carly got on that plane finally. Called Drew, played a couple of phone tags or whatever, and then there was turbulence on the plane, and then they were forced to make an emergency landing. So I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, saw it get on the plane and everything like that. Well, at first I thought Laura was gonna be taking a little mini vacay, you know. But it seems like she may actually have some sort of adventure, and I don't know. Maybe she'll sit there and meet up with Brenda or something. That'd be nice, I guess, somewhat. I was never super fond of it. Not Vanessa. I was never super fond of Brenda because it just seemed like every time she came back, Sonny would sit there and leave whoever she's with to be with Brenda, and then the actress will leave, and then it's pretty much like she came in, blew up his life, left, came back, and just kept doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Um, but I think at one point the actress was trying to revive some sort of soap opera that just never really worked out. I don't remember what kind of soap opera she was reviving, but yeah. I wonder what she's up to now. Nicholas seemed like he is just losing it. Um, Nicholas is meant to talking to Sonny, and Sonny was like, "I don't want you 5 feet near Avon." And Then I guess because he knew that Frank was there, he came back with his own bodyguard. So he came back with his own bodyguard. He's like, yo, listen, you're either going to move or he's going to move you. Okay? I don't really care what the case is, but you're moving out the way. And Portia was not there talking to Ava. Now, at this point, Portia's like, yo, you got to leave. Like, she doesn't want you here. You got to go. And Nicholas like, well, you don't know what I'm capable of. Curtis came around that corner. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He was like, yo, you did not just sit there and threaten her. Pretty much saying that the police is on their way and that you should leave. Otherwise, whatever happens, happens. So, you wound up leaving. Now, during this whole time, after Dex was sitting there talking to Josh, Dex left and forgot his sunshades. So, I don't know why you would need sunshades at night, but whatever. So, he leaves. She follows. And while everyone's sitting there hanging out at the table with Sonny and everything, after Sonny having a heart-to-heart with Sasha, Brando, I guess, sees the situation and he follows her. I don't really know why, but he went out there. When Josh went out there, the person with the hook was there. So, the person with the hook was there and was about to go after Josh. But Brando went out there, and now this person is going after Brando. Now, I don't think they're going to kill off Brando. He may wind up getting wounded. We'll just wait and see. But I feel like if something happens to Brando, it may cause Sasha to have a relapse. And I just don't know if the audience could sit there and take another relapse this soon. I guess time will tell. I don't know why Ava decided to tell Portia she thought that Nicholas might have actually, been the one that tried to hurt her. Because in reality, I feel like it would just be damaging to her as well. I mean, if Ava accuses Nicholas of going after her and somehow he goes to jail, you think he's going to go to jail by himself after what he knows about the whole Esme thing? I just don't understand. Like, she didn't sit there and tell Sonny that. I don't remember her sitting there telling Sonny that. So I don't understand why she felt the need to tell Portia that. I don't get that. There was really no reason why she should have did that. I mean, right now y'all kind of in this whole, cover up Esme thing. So why would you do that for? Anyway, eventually she does decide to summon him back to have a little chit chat about what? I have no idea. Liz has a theory that Nicholas, because here's the thing, she kept sitting there accusing Nicholas of possibly doing this to Ava, and she was like, when Nicholas gave me an alibi, at first she was like, okay, maybe it's to protect me. But then she realized maybe it's to protect him. And Liz takes this information to Ava and is like, well, just that Nick was not exactly with me the whole time. Just want to give you, a heads up or whatever. So at least she's able to do that for what it's worth. And she's like, she has some sort of plan to try to find out, her missing time. We all know at this point it's going to be Kevin. But my whole thing is like, why did you not do this before? You work in the medical field. Why would she not sit there and think about hypnosis a long time ago? I get, obviously, my old saying, because I haven't said it in a while, plot versus logic and common sense. But seeing how she's in the medical field, this is where the common sense and logic would apply. But of course, we got plot, so, there's that. I still don't know why this whole scene took place. This scene between Drew and Marshall. Because Drew wanted to apologize for his role and trying to fake a job interview with Curtis. And at first, Marshall didn't want to hear it. He was like, yeah, no one likes being fooled. But then after he sincerely apologizes, Marshall's like, well, you did it for Curtis, so I understand. And if I would have been honest, then, y'all two wouldn't have had to go through that whole thing and you wouldn't have been dragged up into the situation. I get that he wanted to make amends, but I felt like it was, I don't want to sit there and say, well, in a lot of ways it was pointless. I mean, what he said was true. There was no need to apologize because if he was honest, well, he wouldn't have had to sit there and help Curtis out with the plan. And also, this was Curtis wanting to get information, and this is the only way he knew about going about, he knew how to go about it at the time. So why are you blaming his wingman, pretty much? Curtis did have to sit there and tell Portia that the whole time they were still married, but his lawyer is expediting the whole papers, so yeah. Now, but Curtis is sitting there telling Portia, I think she didn't sign those people on purpose. Like she was sitting there stalling. You know what? In all reality, this is something that Jordan asked for, so I'm not even upset with Curtis for even thinking that. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else that happened. The most interesting part about this whole episode was towards the end, and everything in the middle was just kind of like so, you know. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.